Optimus Prime, his name echoes across galaxies as a symbol of hope, resilience, and unbreakable conviction. In the vast darkness of a divided universe, he rises not merely as a warrior, but as a beacon of justice for every living being who yearns for freedom. His legend begins on Cybertron, a world forged from metal and light, where ancient energies shaped civilizations and destiny chose its greatest champion. Before he became the leader of the Autobots, before the battles that shook planets and rewrote histories, he was simply Orion Pax, a humble archivist with a heart guided by truth. Yet even in those early days, a spark within him burned brighter than the stars above Cybertron. It was a spark that would soon ignite a transformation, forging Orion Pax into the hero the universe would come to know as Optimus Prime. This is the beginning of his story, the rise of a leader, the birth of a legend, and the awakening of a protector who would stand against darkness, no matter the cost. As Cybertron spiraled deeper into conflict, Orion Pax watched the world he loved unravel piece by piece. Once a luminous planet of towering spires, radiant energy streams, and civilizations built upon harmony, Cybertron had thrived for millions of years as a beacon of prosperity. Its people honored wisdom, invention, and unity. But beneath that shining facade lay a growing divide, one that would soon ignite the greatest war in the planet's history. Megatron, once known as Megatronus, rose from the gladiatorial pits as a symbol of strength and defiance against the elite caste system. His message began with hope, but power twisted his spirit. He became convinced that the only path to peace was conquest, and those who resisted him became enemies of his new order. Orion Pax observed the changes with increasing dread, the speeches filled with venom, the growing Decepticon armies marching through the streets of Kaon, and the silence of citizens too afraid to speak. His work as an archivist gave him access to forgotten histories and ancient records, revealing patterns of destruction that once befell Cybertron long ago. He recognized the same shadows now rising again. Refusing to remain passive, Orion spoke out, challenging Megatron's vision and urging his people to seek unity over domination. This act of bravery caught the attention of Alpha Trion, one of the 13 Primes disguised among ordinary Cybertronians. Through Alpha Trion's guidance, Orion learned that leadership was not about strength, but about sacrifice, wisdom, and the willingness to bear the burdens of others. When war finally erupted and Decepticons unleashed their full fury upon the planet, the High Council summoned Orion. In a sacred chamber filled with the echoes of ancient ages, the matrix of leadership revealed its chosen bearer. In a surge of cosmic energy, Orion Pax was reborn as Optimus Prime, his frame rebuilt, his spark fortified with the wisdom of the Primes, and his destiny forever changed. As Optimus Prime, he became the pillar around which the Autobots rallied. He forged alliances with warriors, scientists, medics, and civilians alike, shaping them into a resistance that fought not for dominance, but for freedom. The early battles were fierce. Sky fortresses collapsed, energon factories were seized, and entire regions of Cybertron were scorched by Decepticon assaults. Yet, even as the war escalated, Optimus fought with unwavering honor. He wielded the Matrix not as a weapon, but as a reminder of the values he swore to uphold. He looked into the optics of each Autobot soldier and carried the weight of their hopes. He faced Megatron countless times, friend turned foe, brother in arms turned ruthless tyrant. Their clashes shook the metallic continents beneath them, each encounter fueled by ideology as much as by steel and fire. Despite their shared history, Optimus knew there was no path for peace as long as Megatron sought control through fear. As the war consumed Cybertron, energon reserves dwindled. The planet's core destabilized, forcing tectonic fractures across entire cities. In a desperate attempt to save their world, Optimus led the Autobots deep underground to ancient vaults that held the last secrets of their creators. But what they found was the truth of Cybertron's doom. Its energy was nearly depleted. The planet could no longer sustain life. With a heavy spark, Optimus ordered the evacuation. Autobot ships rose through smoke and lightning as Cybertron crumbled behind them. Optimus stayed until the last possible moment, ensuring every survivor had a chance to escape. The stars became their new battlefield as they scattered across the galaxy. His own journey led him toward an unexpected destination, a blue planet called Earth. When he arrived, Optimus initially saw only vulnerability, fragile life, cultures unfamiliar, and a world unprepared for the war he carried with him. But as he observed humanity, he saw courage unlike anything he expected. The willingness of humans to fight for one another, to rise after devastation, reminded him of what Cybertron once stood for. It rekindled within him a spark of hope, and so he made a choice that defined the next era of his life. He would not let Earth suffer the same fate as Cybertron. Gathering Bumblebee, Ratchet, Ironhide, Jazz, and the other Autobots, Optimus vowed to protect this new home. Together, they faced threats that spanned centuries. Decepticons hiding among society, ancient primes awakening from slumber, and cosmic forces threatening the balance of the universe. Optimus Prime engaged in battles that pushed him to the edge of destruction, dueling the Fallen, confronting Sentinel Prime's devastating betrayal, surviving Lockdown's relentless pursuit, and facing the looming shadow of Unicron that stretched across time itself. Each victory cost him something. Friends lost, cities damaged, trust shattered, but he endured because he believed in the value of every life he protected. His leadership was more than strategic brilliance. It was emotional burden. He stayed awake on quiet nights, staring into distant stars, remembering the voices of Autobots who were no longer beside him. He questioned his decisions. He felt the weight of every sacrifice, yet he never allowed his doubts to cloud his resolve. With every dawn, he rose again, ready to shield humanity from threats they could not face alone. As decades passed, Earth changed him. He became more than a commander. He became a guardian of two worlds, a bridge between species, a living symbol of hope. In the hearts of humans and Autobots alike, Optimus Prime became proof that heroism is not defined by power, but by the choices one makes when faced with darkness. And through every trial, one truth guided him. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. For that belief, he would fight until the very end. In the twilight of countless battles, as stars dimmed and worlds trembled beneath the echoes of war, Optimus Prime carried within him the memories of everything he had lost and everything he swore to protect. Though his frame bore the marks of ancient conflicts and his spark flickered beneath the weight of millennia, his resolve remained unbroken. He knew that leadership was not measured solely by victories, but by the willingness to rise after every fall, to stand firm when others could not, and to bear the burden of choice alone. As the wars on Earth raged on, he found himself facing questions no sword could answer and no shield could deflect. Questions of destiny, sacrifice, and the price of peace. Yet with every challenge, he returned to the values that had shaped him since the days of Orion Pax: compassion, truth, and an unwavering belief that every life held meaning. When humanity looked to the skies in fear, he stepped forward with courage. When Autobots faltered under the weight of despair, he lifted them with hope. And when enemies sought to drown the world in darkness, he became the light that guided others through it. Over time, Earth became more than a refuge. It became a second home, a place where Optimus witnessed the resilience of the human spirit, parents protecting their children, friends standing together against the odds, strangers offering help without being asked. These moments reminded him why he fought, why he bled, and why he continued even when the universe seemed determined to break him. In protecting humanity, he rediscovered a piece of Cybertron's lost soul. But the journey of a Prime is never simple, and peace is never permanent. As cosmic storms gathered once more and ancient threats stirred in the void, Optimus Prime prepared himself for battles that would surpass all he had faced before. He understood that his existence had become something larger than metal and circuitry. He was a symbol, a myth woven into the fabric of two worlds. Legend spoke his name in whispers and in war cries, across battlefields and among stars. Children looked up to him with awe, soldiers stood taller in his presence, and even enemies acknowledged the honor with which he fought. Yet beneath the armor and the legend was a soul shaped by loss and strengthened by hope. He mourned his fallen, cherished his allies, and carried the promise that as long as he breathed, freedom would not be extinguished. In the quiet moments between battles, he gazed into the cosmos and wondered if one day Cybertron might be reborn, if the ruins of his home could rise again, cleansed of war and restored by unity. And though he knew the path forward would be long and uncertain, he never allowed doubt to overshadow hope. For Optimus Prime understood that true leadership was not about commanding armies, but inspiring them. It was not about ruling worlds, but protecting them. And so, with the matrix of leadership burning bright within his spark, he prepared to face whatever destiny demanded next. In his final vow, spoken not just to Autobots, but to all who would listen, he declared that as long as one being still sought freedom, as long as one spark still held on to hope, he would stand guard between darkness and the innocent. His voice echoed like a promise across galaxies, that courage would outshine fear, that unity would outlast tyranny, and that even in the darkest night, one light, one prime, could change the fate of the universe. And so ends this chapter of his story, but not his legacy. For legends like Optimus Prime do not fade. They ignite new courage in every generation. As long as the stars continue to burn, the tale of the last Prime will endure, an eternal reminder that heroes are not born, but forged, in sacrifice, in conviction, and in the unbreakable hope that freedom will always rise again.